You've played a Strat before, right? The Strat is one of the most iconic and versatile guitars ever invented, with good reason. Leo Fender invented the Stratocaster, and Fender has been making them continuously since 1954 with only minor revisions. The Strat is such an amazing sounding instrument and is so comfortable to play with all the contours. It has so many iconic tones and so many iconic players. Have you ever been playing a Stratocaster or S-style guitar and flipped the 5-way selector to the middle position ever? No, really. I've been playing guitar for over 25 years, and I've been playing S-style guitars most of that time. I can think of maybe 3 times in those 25 years when I used the middle pickup by itself. Not 3 songs where I would use that setting every single time I would play those songs. 3 times ever in 25 years. The middle pickup on a Stratocaster is a critical component of the 2 and 4 position settings on a Strat that provide the fabled glassy, quacky settings that myself and so many others love and prize on a Stratocaster. The neck pickup gives you that big, bluesy, punchy tone, and the bridge gives you that bright, biting tone that can serve myriad purposes, from chicken picking to rock and roll to soloing and more. But that middle pickup by itself, help me out in the comments. Name me iconic Strat tones that are the middle pickup all by itself. No, really, please. I can't even think of some. I just know that I never, ever, ever use it. Conversely, one tone that would be useful on a Strat that isn't usually available is the neck pickup and the bridge pickup together. This combination can give you that pseudo, almost kind of not quite Telecaster in between sound, and I really like it. Today, I'm going to start a new series on my channel called My Favorite Mods. In this ongoing series, I'm going to take a look at some of my favorite modifications that you can do to your guitar, whether acoustic or electric, depending on this video, to get more out of your guitar. I'm going to put them all on a playlist on YouTube so you can go back and watch them all as they get added to the playlist. Every time that I talk about a specific mod, I'm going to rate it on a difficulty scale from 1 to 5, with 5 being the hardest, and I'm going to talk about the cost. Today, I'm going to talk about one of my favorite mods, and it involves swapping out the switch to what is called a super switch and changing the wiring to a schematic of my own design so that when the switch is in the middle position, you will get the neck and middle pickups instead of the middle pickup all by itself. All of the remaining functions of the switch, they're going to be completely the same. You can play this guitar just like normal. You can also do this modification on a Nashville style Telecaster if you want. This modification deals with some finicky electronics wiring, which many people struggle with. And this switch has a lot of wires, and because of that, I'm going to give this modification a 4 out of 5 for difficulty. The cost, however, is relatively low. It's just the cost of the switch and some hookup wire and some solder. All told, depending on what you pay for the switch, you probably could end up getting this mod done for $25 to $40. First, let's talk about logistics. You're going to need a super switch. I get them from Amazon, and I would recommend either the Fender or Oaks Grigsby super switch. Link in the description. The first thing you need to realize before considering this modification is that the switch is likely much wider than the stock switch on your guitar. To make it fit into your guitar's pickup cavity, you may need to do some woodwork and bust out the chisels, or maybe even a drill press, or maybe even a router. If you are planning on doing this mod on a Nashville style Telecaster, there's a chance that the switch might even just not fit. It's possible that it could fit better using one of those control plates with the angled switch slot like the ones they sell on StewMac, but I haven't tried that, so don't kill me if you do try it and it doesn't fit. It's just a guess. I was able to get my switch to fit in the prototype that I'm working on, but your mileage may vary. Nice and tight. Okay, so I've got the wiring open and I've got the old switch off. And so what I did is I left the ground wires intact and I've got the hot wires. And the way that this works is that they've come over here. The hot wire for the bridge pickup is right here. And then it's a little convoluted here. Basically the way that it coil splits. So from here, you got 4 wires. Maybe you can see it better here. You got 4 wires coming off the back of this humbucker. Okay? You got black, red, green, white. The red is your hot. The red is your hot. That's your output. Your green, it solders to ground right here. So then your black and white are hooked together and then jumpered to ground right here using the push-pull. So when you pull this up, it connects this to ground to split the coil. So I'm going to do output lines first here. This is going to be the hot. And these ones are kind of on the bottom. So I think if I wire these up first, get them out of the way. And this one has to get 2 lugs back there, so rather than making 2 wires, I'm just going to push it back and just slide it right through both. And then another one right here. That's going to be my output to my lead. Okay, this one. Okay. So this will go right here. Okay, so I got the output wired up. So now I'm gonna do this is the bridge pickup. And the wires. Okay, so I got the bridge pickup. I got a jumper here, and then I got the bridge tone. Wire those up. Okay, so now I can kind of shove those down out of the way. So now I should be able to get the middle pickup, which is going to be over here. It's going to go to the jumper from this spot to that spot. Okay, so I'm going to go from the second lug here. I'm going to go from the top. Got 2 of them in there. Up. This is the neck. So this is going to go into the 4th slot here.
also throwing a third wire here. This is where it gets a little tricky. Okay, I got 3 wires in there. And this is going to just jump across to the 3rd lug. Okay. 3rd lug right here. 3rd lug. Okay. So now I got the neck pickup. So then I need to connect it to those 2. So I just hooked the wire through the hole right here. You want a good mechanical connection, but I also need to fill this gap right here with solder when I solder to complete this circuit, which looks like to be a treble bleed mod. Okay. Alright, here I go. Start by soldering the wire. That's soldered. Gap. Solder. There we go. And then I'm going to solder this wire back to the pot. So the best way to do this is to just let your iron just really warm up back to the pot. Sometimes, because of the solder, there's a little bit of flux in the middle. I'll give it just a little dot of solder, and sometimes fresh solder will help the solder that's on there to flow a little easier. You see, that's exactly what happened. It helps the heat to transfer and flow. And we've got to be careful, I don't want to loosen all the other wires. So what happens is, as soon as I take my soldering iron off of this, everything's going to get cold again. I'm kind of pre-warming the pot. Okay, so I've got all the wires hooked up. I'll give the guitar a last wipe down before I get everything back up. When I clean a guitar, I actually like to spray it with a little, clean it up, Windex. Streak-free shine, you know, nice and clean. Get this grounding screw down. Everything should go in there without any problems. I gotta get the front of the guarding first. A little bit of with the wires right here. There we go. Okay, everything closes up. No problem. I'm done with the soldering iron, so turn that puppy off. Okay. I get these screws back on. I'm gonna do it with the drill. Go a little faster. Whenever I drill, whenever I do any screws on the Strat like this on the pick guard, you'll see I always hold the drill, but I always support the drill. Last thing I want is for the drill to like fall off the screw and like dig into the guitar, especially like my guitar. No, I'm just kidding. Especially a customer's guitar, that would be horrible. Most of the time when I'm working on a customer's guitar, I'm working on much nicer guitars than I own. Back through and just snug this up real quick. Yeah, when I do the drill, I don't cam those out. I don't go super tight on the drill. I I don't want to strip out the wood. We're going to get switch tip back on. Volume, tone.
Okay, so when I said that this modification was a 4 out of 5 on the difficulty scale, yeah, I was not kidding. I wired it wrong twice. My wiring diagram that I spent so much time drawing, yeah, was completely wrong. I completely misunderstood the way that the pole pieces connected. Even after I got the switch and looked at it and said, oh yeah, I have it wrong, and then I proceeded to just wire it wrong anyway, and then fixed it, and then I still did it wrong. So, but I got it all set up now. One modification that I did, and I mentioned this in a previous video, was that the push-pull switch, the knob was hard to grab. And I resolved that by adding a telly knob that I had laying around. And that, it doesn't match. And you know what? I don't care. It's my guitar. I'd rather have a knob I can grab. And it actually, it's nice. It has a really smooth action to it. And it's, to me, it's much better. Why did I go through all that trouble? To rewire this switch. Basically, all the other sounds are the same, okay? The neck pickup sounds like the neck pickup. The 4 position sounds like the 4 position. The bridge pickup is unchanged. I have a bridge humbucker or a split position. The 2 position sound is unchanged. I either have the middle with a humbucker or split. The only difference is in the middle position, I've got the neck pickup with the bridge humbucker, either with a humbucker or split. And that's the only difference. And why did I do it this way? There's a lot of ways to get the neck and the bridge pickup together. You know, you can add it separate with a toggle. You can do a blend mod. There's a bunch of different ways. And I've done those ways. One time I added the neck and bridge pickup together on like literally a guitar pedal stop switch, and I would bang it with my hand whenever I wanted it. Bing! And I thought that was really clever. The only problem with that one is I could never tell if it was on or off without by looking at it, because it was a stomp switch. The mini toggles are cool. One mod I really like is the blend pot. Problem for me with a blend pot is there's always just a little bit of bleed over from the pickup that's not being used. And as I mentioned, I never ever use the middle pickup by itself. So why not add a dedicated switch that actually gets it usable? I'm going to give you some tones, and we're going to show you what I got. I'm going to add a little bit of overdrive. I've got the Wampler Tumnus here. I'm playing into my vintage 1965 Fender Princeton. Oh, I also have a Paul Cochran Timmy, and I have an Ocean's 11 on the spring setting for some little bit of reverb. Now I go to the 4 position. Bridge pickup unchanged. 2 position. I got these 2 pickups together. Now here's where the magic is. Middle pickup, not the middle pickup. yeah, so I think it's just different enough. Gives me something that I will definitely use. So yeah, this is a great mod. It's very difficult. So, so here's the deal. This is a wiring schematic I designed myself, you know, and if you're interested in wiring your Strat or your Nashville Telly like this, I've drawn up schematics. You know, if you're interested in getting them, I've made a small Etsy store. Put a link in the description and you can go to my Etsy store and you can buy those plans. I've made them very affordable. I have one that's just a typical Strat, single, one that's a Nashville Telly, one that is a similar configuration to this with single hum configuration using the super switch. If you follow those instructions, and you know, you should be able to wire that up if you are good with electronics and wiring. It's a good way to support the show. I'd appreciate it. If not, you know, appreciate the watch, and you can also subscribe. It's a great way to support the show. Otherwise, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you next time.